The world is self-organized. Think about, for example, cities. I mean, no one's really in charge of a city. You can say a mayor's in charge of a city, but you have millions of people in large cities that are just going about their business and they're just doing whatever they want. But it all comes together. You could say they're doing whatever they want because basically everybody has free will. You could say that, like, well, people are following their jobs, they're following the dictates of their spouses, they're doing things for their children. So yeah, it depends the level that you think of it. But basically, everybody is self-organizing themselves in millions of people and entire city runs. It's the same thing with a country. You could say, yeah, the president's in charge, but most people are not day to day are not really even thinking about the president. I mean, maybe some people are. Maybe you're impacted by some things that the president has done without realizing it. But basically, the cities, the countries, and then the globe, the world, the earth, are all self-organizing. Families are self-organizing because, yeah, we all influence each other, but each person kind of like reacts to every situation in their own way. And there's a famous saying, this is true of the most successful people, especially because some people are more creatures of their environment and some people more shape their environments. That the most successful people, find the environments that they want and need. And if they can't find them, then they create them. That's why you can have two people born in the same family, and one stays very close to how they were raised in the family, and one it doesn't mean that, like, branching off from your family is higher or lower. It just means that some people are more autonomous, um, and develop more of their own thinking, their own lifestyle. They may actually like stay extremely close to the family if what the family is what they believe in, but it's like they think about things very autonomously. So the world is self-organizing, and this is a powerful thing because when you realize that you know it shows you that you can't really micromanage because things evolve. There's something called emergent phenomenon or emergent properties, which means that, like, when things get more complex, then new phenomena arise. Like, there's certain phenomena in biology that are not apparent in chemistry. Like, biological systems could be alive and chemicals, as far as I know, can't. So life is a very important emergent property. I mean, biology in some sense can be reduced to chemistry, not completely, because obviously, because you can't reduce life down to chemistry, as far as I know. But although some people say if you have the right primordial mix, then you can kind of like create the foundations for life. I mean, I'm not a biologist or a chemist, so this is all more just general. I'm just trying to use an example. But physics to chemistry to biology to psychology, to whatever is broader than that. Um, as you go to broader and broader levels, you have more emergent phenomenon. And as you have more emergent phenomenon, things become more and more uh, self-organized to a degree. Like, there's a certain amount of freedom that electrons and protons and neutrons have. I mean, you can talk about string theory. You can talk about uh, what's the other big theory that's escaping me now? Quantum theory. So there's a lot of unpredictability even at the physical or physics or chemical level. But then in biology, animals have a lot more freedom. They have freedom of a lot more movement. Humans have freedom of thought. And then when you get into psychology, so the higher levels you get to, the more self-organizing things become. When we spread out in the galaxy, then we're going to be able to self-organize a lot more than we can just on one planet. And when we spread out to multiple galaxies, we'll be able to self-organize to a greater degree than that. When we become spiritual beings, where we can, travel in our bodies like flying, if that ever becomes possible, then it allows a higher degree of self-expression and self-organization. Uh, as you become more conscious, as you become more capable, as you become more aware, as you become more expanded, the more skills that you have, the more you can self-organize. I wouldn't say the more, I would say actually to a higher degree, because have you ever had some people, that you would describe maybe as a little bit more simple, and some people you would describe as more complex? I mean, everybody is complex because human beings are by nature complex, but some people are developed just like to a really higher degree, more self-actualized or whatever you want to call it. And that allows greater self-organization because the more self-aware you have, like if you, I'm not explaining it that well, I don't think, but say that you're a Mozart, the amount of freedom that you have to organize your piano skills if you're a Mozart is, vast compared to someone that just, is taking lessons for the first time.